Hey, what's up, y'all? It's D about to react to this video by Abba and Preach. It's titled Bride of Charlie. No, this title is wild. Candace Owens documentary on Erika Kirk. Oh, this is not them saying this. This is Candace saying this. Oh, she's been on this lady's head, Erika Kirk. Let's hear what she has to say. Let's watch.
So I saw that Candace Owens released a document.
Your girl.
Candace not my girl. The first thing she does is she reads a post from this former actress.
I'm going to be blunt. I have reached the point where I find Erika Kirk to be deeply disturbing. I come from the world of acting and modeling. I have spent years around social climbers, opportunists, image curators, and people who treat relationships like ladders. That is why I left that world. A few are dangerous. Erika falls into the latter category not because she is just ambitious, but because of how calculated and performative her ambition appears to be. I believe she may be a psychopath.
So there's not much reporting there. It's just her sharing a post she liked. Now, even though this didn't have much journalistic value,
I've talked about this before though, about how weird she is and how she's trying to benefit from the death of her late husband. It's just so blatant in your face, and it's like, my God, it's just hard to watch.
Agree with in the post is that even people who like Candace or who like Erika Kirk are uncomfortable with her. Like, I think that part is very true. But then she gets into the fact finding and she goes into Erika Kirk's family history. She goes straight to the family.
That Erika was exceedingly close to her stepfather too. You can bring that back up and I'll show that. But he's featured there too. You've got Larry in the photo because he has been a fixture in her life since before her parents' divorce was ever finalized. Because both he and his son are also in the collage.
So in this section, she goes into poking holes into when Erika was born because of discrepancy in like 1 to 2 days. And then she goes into some of the divorce dates and talking about how weird it is that in some documents it's different than others. And like, I won't lie to you, when she's going through some of this, some of it does look a little bit off, that there's like 4 different divorce dates or like marriage dates in terms of when they got married. But then she goes into the claim that Erika made that she was raised by a single mother. And to counter that, she goes, no, these men were clearly in her life. And at one point she pulls up the yearbook from Erika Kirk. She shows the pictures of the fathers or the stepfathers in the yearbook, okay?
Armed classmates Larry and Lori were together since Erika's elementary school days. In other words, Erika grew up in a situation that is now termed as a bonus dad. Both her biological father and her stepfather figure were present and all living in and around the Scottsdale area. So why this little public misrepresentation? I would be super offended if I was a stay-at-home dad and then suddenly you've got someone saying, I was all alone, my mom did it all by herself. Now you will see throughout this investigation that there are a lot of little wrinkles like this in Erika's story. Even if you removed Ken's, Erika was raised with her stepfather in her home, a man named Larry Ginta. In her high school yearbook, actually, Kent is included, her father.
I really enjoyed, every time she said Kent, I heard something else. And she said it with such enthusiasm. I'm like, go girl.
Father
fucking
in a collage, and so are his parents, her grandparents. So we can reasonably assume that her father was in her life. We can also assume from that photo that Erika was exceedingly close to her stepfather too.
So this is my problem sometimes when I watch Candace. Is Candace will do all the research, she'll do a lot of legwork, and then she'll say a line like, we can reasonably assume. And when I hear reasonably assume, I'm like, based off what? Because he's in the yearbook photo. Why is that a reasonable assumption?
Well, because he's there.
And like,
he's there. He wouldn't be there if he was not in her life.
I think the main issue I have is I think a lot of the legwork that happens with people buying into this is that they already hate Erika Kirk and think she's a fraud. So they'll listen to this and they're already connecting. And Candace doesn't do a great job in some of the situations of connecting the dots. She will just infer very strongly or say stuff like, we can, no. I've taken plenty of pictures with people, family members over the years. They've shown up in family photo albums. I'm not close to them. Why are we assuming that these fathers were necessarily in her life or that close to her based off a yearbook photo?
Aren't you close with all your fans that you take pictures with? You're not.
Well, she'll probably argue that a yearbook photo is much more intimate.
Fair.
But I'm pretty sure there's a bunch of people in there that she's not close with that are in those photos. Maybe she had to take those photos and they had to be included. You don't know. But if your form of journalism is just, I'm going to reasonably infer, especially with things that are not that inferable based off of simple photos, I don't think that's fair. Am I bugging?
You're not bugging, but also the other thing that happened is that whenever people speak like her, because she's eloquent, and we have a bias where people are eloquent. We right away think like, oh, that person 100% knows what they're talking about. Everything is uninterrupted. She knows she got the nose down pat, and we could see that in politics.
I don't do that. I'm going based on the fact that Erika is shady as hell. So she seems to be a deceptive person. So it makes sense that she would do this. Obviously, I don't fucking know this woman, and whatever I believe is irrelevant. It doesn't affect her life at all. But obviously, that's just my own belief and opinion. Like, that sounds about right. I'm not saying it's true 100%, but it's like, this makes sense that she would be deceptive about this. So that she can get more sympathy and be like, oh yeah, my mom raised me and I had no father figure in my life. So it's like,
People are stuttering or looking for, or, Pearl Davis having a debate. If you're just looking at your notes, you don't know what you're talking about.
Compared to women, what's the number for women?
It's lower.
Really? What is it?
To be fair, she didn't know what she was talking about. But in the way that she speaks, in the way that she's presenting herself, people are going to be like, she's speaking like it's the truth, so it must be.
They're confirming their biases.
Yeah.
And like I said, I don't like Erika Kirk either, but I'm trying to be fair because I want to do. I do want to see some evidence.
confirmation bias is a real thing.
Okay,
So
another example here. Erika Franzwey, we are told, was born on November 20th, 1988 in Cincinnati, Ohio. Great, there's a newspaper relic announcing her birth 2 weeks later.
Yo, our name's not Erika Kirk here. Fucking, that's crazy.
It's Erika Lane Franzwey.
Isn't that suspicious though?
Whoa.
Because she's pretending to be Erika Kirk now. I'm not saying anything. I think that's odd that she wasn't born Erika Kirk.
Would you say that we can confidently say that?
Don't mind.
I know I'm not mad at you. I just
move on from y'all stupid shit.
By the way, it's just something to note about Good Samaritan Hospital. A little fun fact, that actually used to be the U.S. Marines Hospital. One that once upon a time caused a little bit of a scandal for unethically experimenting on brains of patients.
This is another thing she does. She'll just insert these random facts and let you connect the dots. Like if you have a conspiratorial mind, you'll hear that and be like, Erika Kirk is a fucking experiment manufactured.
I love
by the
that
government.
sound.
Like, it is the perfect bait. The way she just throws it in,
and she never said that.
but she does just enough to be like government spy.
Anyway, the story goes that the U.S. Marine Hospital just up and decided
Where's
to
that from?
gift
Oh,
the
Kill
hospital
Bill.
to the Catholic Sisters of Charity out of the goodness of their Marine hearts or something. Because our military is known for that, just being really, really kind and giving up.
Even this is such an odd thing to say, because yes, government groups oftentimes will donate their facilities if they don't think they can reasonably sell it, or if the upscale, the renovations required make it a very unsellable prospect, or if there's a deal with the city and so the government's going to hand it over to a group who can manage it. It's a hospital. It's going to help save people. It's not that odd for them to offload it if their facilities are outdated or old. And military bases move. They don't stay in the same spot. Actually, we had a huge amount of changes to how military bases were set up like 20 to 30 years ago. And the main reason was they needed to change their defense strategy to put their bases in optimal places. So they consolidated the base or the hospital in a different spot. But her just dropping this there without like doing the extra research and then just leaving this kind of open-ended fact and going, isn't it odd? Isn't it weird? It's like, no. There's plenty of buildings that get donated at times, or if the facilities are really old, and they just kind of get given away to groups who can handle it.
Yeah,
But I feel like now y'all are giving Erika the benefit of the doubt.
Not saying it's weird. She's asking you if it's weird.
Exactly. She's like, something to think about. Just, let me throw this out there. Just conclude yourself. Come to your own conclusion, But it sounds like Abba, his pushback is, well, it could be this, and giving, Erika the benefit of the doubt. But has Erika proven herself to be deserving of the benefit of the doubt? I would say that she's not.
Do you connect the dots?
Let's stick with Grandpa Carl Kenneth Franzwey for a little bit, because he is, by all accounts, obviously Swedish. Erika herself is therefore Syrian Lebanese on her mother's side and Swedish on her father's side. So something which struck me as immediately odd about Erika is just how deeply she identifies as Swedish, despite her public insistence that she was raised by a quote-unquote single mother. Think about that just from a social perspective. If Erika was indeed raised by a single mother, wouldn't you expect her to identify more deeply with those Lebanese, Syrian roots, right?
Myron Gaines exists. And he was raised by two black parents, and he identifies with white supremacists.
If she resented her Swedish roots, like my dad didn't do anything, and so I'm not even doing anything with the Swedes. I don't even like being Swedish. To the contrary, Erika feels so deeply attached to her Scandinavian roots that in 2019 she moved to begin the process of obtaining her dual citizenship.
See, even this framing, as if there's no other reasonable explanations. But I know plenty of people who are ostracized by one side of the family and still identify with that ethnically. It's not abnormal at all. they feel like their identity is bad, so they want to identify with the part of them that they feel like is most socially acceptable or good with the worldview that they have. How many times have I known kids who...
I mean, it's valid what Abba is saying, but I mean, where there's smoke, there's fire. And all of these things point to her having a relationship with her daddy, all right?
Or black, raised by 2 white parents, and they identify more with their black side.
I know a couple of white girls that identify with black. Anyways, never mind. It's fine.
I don't mind that she's asking questions. What I don't like is she's inferring conclusions based off a lack of evidence. To be honest with you, she looks more Swedish than she does Arab too. So it ain't like she's gonna be accepted by the Arabs anyways. If you
She's not now.
Excuse me.
And someone says, not Abba siding with Erika, the Epstein child. It's not me siding with her.
That's when
Guys, you can't say someone's guilty and then show up with shoddy evidence.
He's not siding with her, but he is heavily giving her the benefit of the doubt, so.
And then not be scrutinized.
And once again, she's not deserving
There's a reason why we have the law. If you want someone to be guilty, that's fine. I already told y'all, I don't like Erika, but you can't show up with shitty proof. And then show that to me, and then go like, well, if you don't believe the shitty proof, something's wrong with you. No, something's wrong with you. Because you don't care about the veracity of evidence. You don't care whether or not this shit is like well-sourced or anything. You're fine with shitty investigations if you think the party who's guilty is going to get done in. You don't actually care about well-investigated or good journalism. You want people to do garbage and then find people guilty with that. If that's what you want for your life,
How many documentaries do this? They do this all the time. Like, they don't always have all of the facts, like, completely laid out and all of the details, but they will present what they do have, and it's like, this look a little sus, but hey, come to your own conclusion. That's very commonly done in documentaries.
fine. But I promise you, when it's you on the other end one day, when it's one of your people that you like, at the hands of a shitty investigation, you have no leg to stand on.
And the thing that happened is that whenever you have a shitty investigation, that's where everything that you wanted to happen to that person that's probably guilty is going to fall. O.J. Simpson. Shitty investigation. Dude did it.
Okay, that's concerning a crime. This woman is not on trial. All right, now this is a bit dramatic.
Do something like that, get away, and then write a book that says, after that saying,
That's totally
if I did
different.
that, this is how I would have done it. Come on. Again, that's not proof. But the investigation was shitty.
Someone said she never said she's guilty at all. Candace has said this whole time, heavily implying it with everything under the sun. She's pretty much implied that the people at TPUSA are behind Charlie Kirk's assassination. The thing that she's levying against them is not like, is it Erika Kirk?
I didn't know that was an
it's much more
allegation.
insidious than that. So pretending like all this is not to say that Erika Kirk isn't some kind of plant or some government operative or involved in some scheme is dishonest.
It is.
She's not doing a 10-part documentary series because she thinks Erika Kirk is quirky, because she's a bad actress. She's doing this because she thinks something much more nefarious, and that's what her audience understands. Bro, people are literally driving me crazy on both sides.
I
of this
didn't
shit.
know that.
She definitively was close to her grandfather. We know this
That's
because
dark.
she posts about him many, many times over the years, referring to him affectionately as her morfar. In 2016, she's posting this, and she, again, is going to address him as her morfar. You see, I received a flurry of emails from our fans in Sweden about this particular post, and they did not like this post. And then they explained it to me a little further. They said, no, Candace, the Swedish language is quite literal here. Morfar quite literally translates into mother's father, morfar. And farfar quite literally translates into father's father. We have different words for these things. These have entirely different meanings. You would never call your father's mother your morfar. You would never call, that's what she's doing. She's calling him her morfar. That is Erika's farfar. If Kent is her father's father is her farfar. She said, the woman emailed this, said, no Swedish grandfather would ever allow you to refer to him as morfar if he was not actually your morfar, okay? If he was your farfar, he'd say, very cute, I'm your farfar, let's get that straight.
Not allowed to laugh in this whole section. It's going, morfar. So I guess because the grandparent she identifies with and calls her mother's father actually come from her father's side, which she claims she's not close to at all. Mm-hmm. And they think it's really weird because it's a little translation and it's not right the way she's using it.
It's just wrong. It's just wrong. Words have meaning. So why is her very Swedish grandfather, so Swedish, this line of Freemasons Swedish, allowing Erika to call him my mother's father? Lori's father? No, that's not
It's also not Sweden, so it's just a bad translation. It could be a bad translation. Hey, there was a point in Spanish that I thought black person was pichu mayate. It is not. Don't use that word to say black. That is crazy.
It's possible. I mean, you would imagine her grandparents would probably correct her if it was an issue, right? So if she's saying it wrong, her grandparents would correct her. And so I get what you're saying, but her grandparents are Swedish. Why did they say anything when she would say the wrong word?
She's stupid. Maybe I don't know.
Here's another alternative. But let's say I'm taking Erika at her word and she wasn't close to her dad, okay? It's possible that she didn't want to use the correct term because it would acknowledge her father, who she doesn't want to include in the equation. So it's possible that the grandparents had a relationship with Erika through the mother, and so they would just call her morfar. That's a possibility. I'm just saying, all of these things are all these like little oddities, but they're not unexplainable, and they're not like explainable necessarily by the most far-fetched ideas. People's family relationships are odd. I've seen people call someone their grandparent, and they were never their grandparent. It was just the old geezer who raised them, okay? And people have that. People call people uncles, aunts, cousins, and they have no blood relations whatsoever.
I'm Uncle
So
Chris.
the idea that like words have meaning and they're always clearly defined, and so you would only use the familiar term. I've seen people call folks their brother or their sister or whatever it could be. There's no blood relation. Is that everyone being really weird or stupid? I don't think so. You know I'm dying? Like, read in the chat.
I think this is a small thing to focus on.
Abba's like Erika Kirk's. Have you not seen how many videos we've made shitting on that lady? I had so many people send me threats because of what I said about Charlie Kirk after his passing. It is so stupid to see our catalog of videos, see how we've talked about Charlie Kirk, which has no glowing terms.
Do this to me all the time.
And think I'm somehow bought out by TQUSA.
March 21st of 2019, Erika visits with Charlie. She's in Jerusalem with Charlie, what is known as Zion's Gate in Jerusalem. She posts a picture with a pretty curious caption. It reads in part, meet Darla, a Romanian Jew that now calls Israel home. She was sitting by my family's dedication sign for restoring the Zion Gate in Jerusalem. What? Why is Erika describing the Zion's Gate as her family's dedication? Speaking of which, why does her one-time roommate, Nicole Rothstein, allege that half of their family, referring to her and Erika's family, is Jewish? Doesn't make sense. Nicole Rothstein would be Erika's father's, sister's, husband's, previous wife's daughter's daughter. In other words, zero blood relation, not even kind of related, kind of crazy, would even call each other cousins. People do that, it's cool, it's my cousin, okay, cool. Show you on the family chart just how removed this is, it's insane. Okay, we actually couldn't even fit it, it's so far removed. So you got her aunt, Carla, is married to a guy named Jack, but Jack was also previously married to somebody else, which you see there, named Edna. And this is Edna and Jack's line. This has nothing to do with Erika France. Again, how did she get so close to these people?
Yeah, but you need to tell us that. That's your job. Did they hang out every Sunday? Did they spend summers together? Did they send letters on a regular basis? Like, why are they calling each other cousin? They're not blood related. People do that all the time. I'm having a hard time because she's talking like this is crazy evidence, and there's nothing there other than huge assumptions. Have you heard anything wild so far?
No, but the thing that happened is that, listen here, brother. Fuck, I called you brother and you're not my brother. What are we gonna do? Everything that she's saying is possible. It's just the proof. It's not proofing. The proof is not proofing. It's not strong enough for me to be like, aha. It's not a gotcha moment.
I've seen these content creators. I'm pretty sure even Candace has probably called other content creators.
Even if she did provide all this proof that y'all are asking for, it's like, I don't think we can then leap to the conclusion that she was involved in Charlie's death, though. So it's like, again, I think this is really small to focus on. I think she's just trying to kind of build, her, or what she thinks Erika's character is. And it's kind of like, oh, we'll come to the conclusion yourself.
Her family. I promise you, I'll probably pull it up in the next episode, but there's like no way. I see so many content creators like this talk about other people in their political sphere like family. These familiar terms. Again, this is episode 1. Maybe she's going to connect the dots, but I just want to say, based off of all the assumptions you make in episode 1, I don't really see it.
Shout outs to Wakakuna that said Myron calls people daddy all the time.
That's funny. That's funny. Someone wrote, Snoop Dogg calls everyone nephew.
And everybody calls Snoop uncle.
People call me uncle.
Yeah, because your uncle.
You're old.
What is factual is that Jack Solomon eventually marries Carla France in 2002, and there are also some other really interesting facts about Jack. Jack and Erika's mommy aunt, I don't know, Carla, live in Utah. He graduated from what is today known as Utah Valley University. He's very involved in the university. At the very least, you think with all of the money that he poured into that university, he might be able to...
And when I'm saying this is small to focus on, I'm saying for Candace to focus on, really.
...to get us more footage of Tyler Robinson. Or Carla. How about Carla? She's married to the man. She could have maybe, in my imagination, made it to the hospital when Charlie was shot and killed. I mean, why did none of them make it to the hospital? They're all so nearby. She still lives in Utah. This happened in their backyard. Their family has a lot of power at UVU. Why not Auntie Carla, rather than Stacey Sheridan accompanying you onto Air Force 2 as your husband's body is escorted to Arizona?
Again, a lot of questions. How old are they? Are they even moving? What did they hear? What did they know? This whole section was just off for me because it raised a lot of questions, but it didn't really answer too many of them. She starts to go into some of her schooling and academic history.
All right, now for some fun, because remember when they were freaking out about me discussing time travel, me discussing specifically Project Looking Glass, the CIA thing that actually happened? They allegedly stole Sumerian technology to peer into the future. Well, you have to imagine my surprise when I began looking into Erika's early years. For some reason, I was under the impression, maybe you were too, that Erika moved to Arizona after her parents' divorce. So that would put her in Arizona after 1998. I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt here because it's a minor wrinkle, but her parents didn't divorce until she was 10. But it's totally possible, like when you're a kid and your parents are separating many times before they get divorced, that you associate divorce with separation. Anyway.
So she does give leeway and some explanation. And I think that makes sense. Yeah. There's a million possibilities for why you might say someone is divorced when they might be going through the process and it takes a long, lengthy time, okay?
For the same time that when I was a kid, my teacher was asking us what our parents were doing, and I said my dad was a doctor. My dad is not a doctor. My dad was a nurse. I'm 7. I don't know what the fuck the difference is. I know they all go in that big establishment that's called an hospital. So from the time that you actually signed the papers of divorce and the time that you divorced, when you say divorce and you're calling it a divorce, daddy's not home.
Mm-hmm. And I thought that was necessary, and I just wish that same standard was applied to all the other locations. Because there are times where she just went with the first instinct of the conspiratorial, isn't that weird? And never gave the other side of what the possibilities were. But here she does, and there's a reasonable explanation. And I think if she's going to do this whole journalistic thing, where she's going to ask these questions, she has to fill in the blanks. She got to give me a bit more than just a question. Because everyone, the viewers, can ask questions. We want to know what the answers are. And it's crazy because she does so much research. She'll pull up yearbooks. She'll pull up court records, old newspapers from 1930s, and I'm like, that's amazing. But when she gets to the question and she poses this very open-ended question, there's no more research beyond that to fill in the blank.
Or maybe there's nothing that she can provide, so it's kind of like, well, I kind of hit a roadblock here, so this is what I found, now come to your own conclusion.
Having all those things, all those artifacts.
I don't think it's fair to expect a perfect journalist and think that they're going to have all the answers, because they're not. Not everything can be dug up.
So much to be able to understand a story, but it's you have the narrative before you have the evidence. So you're just gathering evidence to prove your narrative.
Yep.
You're not building all this and searching thoroughly to everything that you found.
That's like if my nigga is cheating on me and I have suspicions and I'm like, oh, I found, these underwear and these strands of hair, in his car or whatever the hell. It's like, all right, I may not have actual concrete proof that he's cheating, but that's enough. It's like, let me ask myself this question. Does this not look suspicious? And then I can, move from there. But it's like, you're not always going to have that concrete proof. So I don't think it's realistic to expect someone to always have that. But sometimes it's like, all right, where there's smoke, there's fire. And we have all of these different situations that point to this person not being honest about, who they are and what they've had going on in their life or whatever. So it's like, okay, we can come to this conclusion. So I don't think it's fair to expect her to have all of that. And I don't give a fuck about Candace, let's be clear. So I'm not defending her.
Find a narrative. Hey, my narrative, this fits my narrative. This doesn't. This. And you're just putting together what fits. And you're making it work. It's not because it fits that it belongs.
I'm nosy. I tracked down the yearbooks. I mean, I was working really hard while I was off. I don't have every year yet, but I do have some years, 1995 to 1996 in first grade, 1996 to 1997 in second grade, and 1997 to 1998, which
oh my God, what was her haircut like?
I gotta tell you, I am so glad that I found this Tesseract. I didn't get to time travel with it. I don't think I did. You think they saw me in the looking glass? How panicked were they when I said looking glass? Whoa, no, she's talking about Project Looking Glass. That's crazy. Meanwhile, they're down in Arizona, like naming their schools Project Looking Glass, like Looking Glass Tesseract. Put them in the school. I just love that. It was like an accidental troll. But what is very exciting about finding her at this school is that
the only way I'm playing Dungeon & Dragon is if she's a dungeon master. The stories would be amazing, bro.
Hold up, there's a key word with D&D. It's called fantasy.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
She's not doing fantasy.
Yeah, but
she's gonna be rolling. You're gonna be rolling d20s for your actual life.
Yeah, but imagine if that's her real life. I want to see what's her fantasy though.
I don't think there's a difference. I think that's what's scary.
Hence my point. This girl should be a dungeon master for real, for real.
I mean, wow. Speaking to people who went to that school, the one in Paradise Valley, to be very clear, there's other Tesseracts. It got shut down. The one I'm talking about got shut down in the year 2000, and then other schools, because they had other schools, kept going. They changed ownership, but this one was there for a very small amount of time. I'm looking at the yearbooks, and there are some interesting players involved in this school. that kind of went down for fraud. Just robbing the piggy bank. It's a recurring theme. We're going to stop here, though, because that's a lot.
I thought we were finally going to get some juicy, like...
Cliffhanger is great.
But, you know, that's why we'll watch.
She knows how
I'm going to
to
watch
tell
at
the
least 4 episodes to see if she connects all these dots with concrete proof.
Yeah, that's the other part. Like, she... This is only episode 1, so maybe she will at some point. Yeah, I don't know. My main criticism would just be, why are you bringing up these small details and you're getting all into her family history and whatnot? Like, how does that connect to the bigger story that she may have been involved in her late husband's death? Like, that's what we need to be focusing on. Or maybe she's starting small and she's going to build up to that and, like, connect all the dots, like Abba said, and then get into... This is what happened. And we found, evidence to suggest this. I mean, documentaries do that. They do usually start small and then it gets crazier and crazier. So maybe that's where she's headed. But yeah, I don't trust this Erika lady at all. So this doesn't surprise me. But, who knows? I guess we will see as she drops the other episodes of this. I'm interested to see what the conclusion will be. And if Erika really did have something to do with that, how dark would that be? That would be crazy. Y'all let me know what y'all think about all this, though, and I'll see y'all on the next time. Bye.